back. It was on Bluetooth, man. Salakia. Uh, it was on Bluetooth, so they probably heard me from here and there. That's fucking crazy. I don't disagree. If you tap back in with it, man, let me know if you can hear me better. It was hooked up to Bluetooth. I'm gonna check right now myself. That's usually what I do. Can you hear me better? Can you hear me better? No, I'm good. The what? All right, man. So Slovakia, man. It was hooked up to the damn Bluetooth. Okay, yeah, man. So Slovakia about that for the technical difficulties. It was hooked up to the Bluetooth. I got it back on. We back live. We back popping. You know what I'm saying? This IHBK Sacramento, Sacramento Israelites. Um, I changed the name on the channel, on the YouTube channel, and the Facebook. It'd probably be easier for brothers and sisters in the world to actually find us. If they're looking for us online, if they don't be able to come to, you understand? But this is the Israelite School, UPK, start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And today is Monday night history class. And I chose this topic today because, man, if you correlation between America and Egypt, you understand that's what today's class is about. How how America and everything that Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians suffer in this kingdom. This young America is a young kingdom. America is only about 400 years old, man. This is a young kingdom, and guess what? Black people suffered this same hell that we going through in the time of Egypt. You understand? The Bible said we was gonna go into slavery again, and we was going back to Egypt. You understand? And you got a lot of blackity black people, whether it's Kemet, the Islam, fake Israelite groups. You understand? And not even the fake Israelite groups in Islam, but specifically the Kemet cats. You understand? The Kemet cats, they love to say we Egyptians. Like brothers go to Egypt one time, they come back from Egypt and they just automatically start saying that they Egyptian. You're not Egyptian, Negro. You understand? But you know why black people have this um like this connection. You know why black people like we feel like we got a connection to Egypt because we have a connection to Egypt because we were slaves there 400 years. You understand? That's why we got a connection to them. But we had nothing to do with those people. Those weren't our people. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the Bible and just show you that how America, if not nigga, 9 times out of 10, America, everything that America does is built off the Egyptians and how they had black people in slavery. Man. That's what this country is about. You understand? The ones who wrote the presidents and the people in power who wrote the Declaration of Independence and all that. You understand? They wrote that Declaration of Independence, and guess what their religion was? Guess what their philosophy was? You understand? George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all of them. Guess what their religion was and their philosophy? You understand that it was practiced in Egypt. You understand? It was going through the history of the Egyptians. That's what their culture was about. You understand? So what we're gonna do today is, man, we're gonna go into the Bible and we gonna pull some scriptures about how the Lord told us we was gonna go into slavery in Egypt and slavery in America. You understand? So with that being said, the first scripture I'm gonna pull is Deuteronomy. No, matter of fact, I ain't even gonna start in Deuteronomy. We got time today. We got time. Look, let's go straight to the story of how we got into Egypt. You understand? Let's get straight into how the Egyptians, the kings of Egypt. Let's see how they was treating Black and Hispanic and Native American Indians while we was in their land. Let's get that. We can go to Exodus chapter 1. We're gonna start at Exodus chapter 1. All right. This is Exodus chapter 1, and we're gonna start at around verse. We're gonna start at 7. This is Exodus chapter 1, verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was them. You know what I'm saying? So who was the children of Israel? Children of Israel today will be so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, man. You understand? And it said that when we was in the land of Egypt, it said we was fruitful, increased abundantly, we multiplied. You understand? We got in Egypt, man. You understand? Joseph, and we started having babies. We went into Egypt about 70 people. You understand? Came out millions. We went in there. We started to populate. You understand? We started to build our communities up. We started to build in Egypt. You understand? And it said, and the land was filled with them. And then before you know it, the land of Egypt was filled with Israelites. You understand? Verse 8. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Yes, sir. So you got one king that was acting like he was for us. You understand? And and he was cool. He rose Joseph up, and Joseph became like the vice president, so to speak. And then after Joseph got rose up, and after a period of time, Joseph died, and a new king rose up and became king over Egypt, which means he was ultimately king over the Israelites too, because we were slaves in Egypt. And let's see what he decided to do. Well, let's see what he decided to do to Black people, man. You understand? And look at we down there we down there might see that today. I just seen on the news they said that Joe Biden got skin cancer. Oh, he got cancer. Look, let me just tell you this: if Joe Biden died, mind you, he already old as hell. Joe Biden been inside politics, man, for since around Martin Luther King, damn near. He been in politics for a very long time. You understand? And if he died from cancer, guess who's gonna be president? Kamala Harris. And if y'all don't know who that devil is, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Kamala Harris. She was the district attorney of California, and guess what, man? She was locking everybody. She prosecuted me. You understand? She prosecuted my brother, gave him life, prosecuted me. She was prosecuting everybody in California. You understand? She was prosecuting everybody. So if she become president, if Joe Biden died from cancer, man, we're gonna be experiencing this exact same thing with the Israelites experience. I guarantee you. And it said, now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. Meaning this, and when it say he knew not Joseph, this not saying that he didn't know Joseph. This is saying he didn't care about Joseph. He didn't have the type of relationship. He didn't have the type of relationship that the first Pharaoh had with Joseph. This a new Pharaoh. He like, man, look at this. I'm a new. It's like when Donald Trump was president. When Donald Trump was president, he was like, look, when Joe Biden become president, the gas prices gonna go up. This is gonna happen. You ain't gonna get no stimulus checks. Inflation gonna go. All this is gonna happen to you. And he was right. Not to say that I agree with anything that Donald Trump said. At least I do respect the man because he was out front with it. You understand? Just like this Pharaoh, he was out front with it. He said he don't know Joseph, meaning that hey, I don't give a damn about Joseph. He's not African. He's not an Egyptian, and that's why I don't understand why my brothers that's literally Negroes. Your ancestors were slaves. I don't understand how you trying to run around with a damn eye tattooed on you. You understand? And you walk around talking about you Egyptian. You walk around with an uncle on talking about you Egyptian, nigga. The Egyptians was racist. They hated Black people. That's why we went into slavery in the first place. They hated black people, and we gonna keep reading it. And it said, verse 9, and he said to his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more mightier than we. You see that? It said, people of the children of Israel are more mightier than me, are more mightier than us. The Egyptians hated black people. They was a racist towards black people. Why? Because we was better than them. You understand? We was more mightier than them. Our children were beautiful. Our communities that we established was beautiful. You understand? The laws that we had to dealing with each other. You know what I'm saying? When it come to trade, when it come to you having an art with your brother, when it come to dealing with women, everything that we did, we was better than them, and they seen that. You understand? And they knew that. Let's keep reading. I ain't gonna jump the gun. Verse 10. Come on, come on. Let us deal wisely with them. And then this is what he said. He's saying that we was becoming mighty in Egypt. And he seen that we was having all these babies. We had all these nice communities. And he said, you know what? Let's deal wisely with them. Now, let's deal with this people smart. You understand? Let's deal with this people. It said, lest they multiply and it come to pass that when there fall out of any war, they join also into our enemies. So they said, look, we need to deal wisely with them. Why? Because if we end up going to war with our enemies, they so mighty already. If they join our enemies, man, they gonna be in rulership. And you know, everybody talking about replacement theory today. You understand? In 2022, everybody's talking about replacement theory. And guess what? The Egyptians was afraid of that too. Just like who afraid of Americans? You understand? You know how I know Americans are afraid of the replacement theory? Because I don't know the devil name, on which I should know it. You understand? But the devil ran inside Buffalo, New York. He ran inside a grocery store and he killed innocent and elderly black people. Why? Because he was scared of replacement theory. He in his mind, he said one day black people are gonna rule over us. So I can't allow that to happen. So I have to be violent with them, just like Esau did to Jacob. Esau wanted to kill Jacob. Jacob got blessed. You understand? And guess what? Esau wanted to murder him. He was scared of replacement theory too. You understand? That's always been their culture. And guess what? The Egyptians was afraid of the same thing. The Egyptians was afraid that one day, that when they go to war with the Ethiopians or the people from Sudan, they said one day, if we don't deal wisely with these people and put them in their goddamn place and not let them feel free, you know what I'm saying? If what it said, read it again. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass that where there fall out any war, they join unto our enemies. He said, let us deal wisely with them, man. Because if we don't deal wisely with them, they're gonna know they're free and they're gonna be able to make any decisions that they want to make. They ain't gonna just let us choose for them. You understand? And that's another reason why if like if you are popular in America, if you black and you popular and you got sway and you got influence, you know what I'm saying? They don't want you to go and deal with nobody outside of America. They want you to stay here. You understand? That's why, like, you know how I know? Because look, remember when he went over there with Kim Jong Un out there in North Korea. You understand? And he was taking pictures with them, they drinking, having a good time. Americans hated him for that. You know why? Because they said them now you getting too smart in understanding that out they want America won't deal with us, but they will deal with you. They will deal with you, black man. All these other countries, they will deal with you. That's how much they hate America. And Americans don't want you thinking like that. They don't want you thinking. They don't want you to have all this influence and you know what I'm saying and all this. You know what I'm saying. And then next thing you know, North Korea like, man, look, we care about black people, which they never say. They want the North Koreans and China and Russia and all their enemies to say that, you know what, we understand why black people are what it is. We want to start funding y'all. You understand? ISBK, we want to start giving y'all money. You understand? We hope y'all, you know what I'm saying, get out that hell that y'all in. We gonna start funding y'all because what y'all doing is right. They don't want that. You understand? And it said, and fight against us, so get them up out of the land. You understand? And okay, verse 11. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. You know what that is? And so so he said we need to deal wisely with them. And he said, let's set over them taskmasters. Who? I'm gonna ask a question and you put it in the chat. What's a taskmaster today? What's a modern day taskmaster? If you know, put it in the chat, Baba Kashab. You know what I'm saying? What's a modern day taskmaster? You know what I'm saying? S. Ross, Anil Perez, Matam Yad. What's a modern day taskmaster? Do anybody know? Or for time's sake, I'm gonna just give it to you. A modern day taskmaster is a supervisor. That's what a modern day taskmaster is, a worker. Yeah, but specifically, a modern day taskmaster is a supervisor. That's what what a supervisor does today is what a taskmaster did in the time of Egypt. That's what a taskmaster did. A taskmaster, he made sure that you executed and got done whatever task it was that was assigned to you. That's what a taskmaster was. You understand? And that's what the Egyptians did. They put taskmasters over us. The same thing that America do in America. And black people are, man, look at, black people got to work 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, still for us to be oppressed. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, I'm going to read it again. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them. What do it mean to afflict them? You know what I'm saying? You can't pay your rent. You know what I'm saying? That's afflicting you. You can't pay your car note. They put taskmasters over you, so you can't pay your car note. That's afflicting you. Can't pay your rent. You understand? You can't do none of that. You understand? Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And like I just said, that was the burden. The burden is you not being able to buy your kids the stuff that they need. You understand? The burden is you have to go get an EBT card, to get on SSI. You understand? Work 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week to feed your family. Those was the burdens. You understand? And it said taskmasters to afflict them. Or what do it mean to afflict you? You go to work every goddamn day on time. You've been working for a year. You ask for a raise? No, you're not getting a raise. To afflict them. Oh man, look, can I have the day off? No, you can't have the day off. To afflict them. You understand? Oh man, look at man, I need time off. I got a holiday coming up. No. You understand? That's what it means to afflict them with their burdens. I'm gonna keep reading. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor. And look at the Egyptians, man, they made us serve hard bondage. You understand? They made sure that we would serve. We didn't have time to think about going to join their enemies like they was afraid of. We didn't have time no more to think about how to build up our communities. You understand? That's why now in America, you understand what do they say? Like the black community used to be like this. If you do something, you understand, that falls on the whole community, man. We finna come to your house. We finna tell you, hey man, look at your son out here busting people windows out, man. He done bust Shirley and them windows out. You understand? You need to check him for that, man. And y'all need to pay for them windows. You understand? Or for whatever happens in your community, the black man, the father was responsible for it. But now in 2022, guess what is it now? Guess how it is now? Now, oh man, that's them over there. That's them over there. Ain't got nothing to do with me now. Now that's some type of society we live in. You know why? Because nobody wants the burden of being over a nation anymore. Nobody wants that burden anymore. You understand? So now when somebody does something in the community, everybody say, man, that's them, man. Stay up, man. Mind your business. You might live long. They ain't got nothing to do with us, man. I don't care what they got going on over there. You understand? Meanwhile, her grandchildren is shooting up the whole goddamn neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Your granddaughter, she had 3 abortions. And she been going to school all winter with a big sweater on. Everybody thinks she's cold. No, she's pregnant. You know what I'm saying? This is the 3rd time she's been pregnant, but she finna go have an abortion, and nobody's gonna know about it. You understand? And if you do know about it, you're gonna say, man, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Man, when really it should. You know what I'm saying? The burden of the burden of decision making should be on black men. You understand? And that's why in the IHB County Commanders Union Hunter, we picked that back up. We want the burden of making decisions to be on us. Because we're going to teach black people how to make the right decisions. You understand? I'm going to keep reading. And it said, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And again, the more they afflicted black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, the more we grew. You understand? The more we you know what I'm saying, we kept having children. You understand? The more we kept loving each other. You understand? And then that made them what? And they said, but the more they afflicted, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And guess what? That made them hate black people. That made them hate Hispanic, Native American Indians, man. And we seeing that same thing today. Like, you in the goddamn ghetto, you in the barrios, you on the reservations, living in hell. You understand? You ain't got no heat in the winter. You ain't got AC in your car or your house in the summer. You understand? Your kids then are dropped out of school. You got every goddamn disease known to man. You done caught COVID 3 times. Monkeypox. You dealing with so much. But guess what? They living in luxury. They living in the hills of Oakland. They living in the hills of San Francisco, Los Angeles. You understand? They live in the good parts of Chicago, Atlanta. They live in all these good places where they don't have to worry about nobody giving their children drugs and fentanyl, and their children smoking weed and getting murdered. They don't have to worry about that. Their daughters becoming whores. And guess what? The only thing they can focus on is, wow, those black people, how they still living. How did they still? I remember I had a slavery one time, right? I used to paint, and the taskmaster was asking me. He was like, "Damn, how many kids you got?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "I got like 4 kids. I got like 4." And he was like, "Oh man, damn, you only get paid 18 an hour. How do you survive?" You understand? I'm like, and I'm thinking, looking at him, I'm like, "Shit, damn, I don't know. I don't know. We just do it." You understand? That was the same thing that was going on with them. It said, and it said, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And guess what? They hate you for it. They hate you to be able to survive the crack epidemic. You understand? They hate you to be able to survive the opioid epidemic, the prison systems. You understand? Planned Parenthood. They hate that you're able to survive all these obstacles that they put in front of you to kill you and destroy you. They hate that you're able to survive that. You understand? That's why nowadays what they doing. They trying to make it to where your children can pick their own gender now. Not only do they want to murder the baby when it come out, but if the baby do survive, you understand? They want it to where that child can decide if he want to be a girl or a boy, man. You know why? Because they grieved by black men. You understand? They grieved by black women, Hispanic women, Native American Indian men and women. They grieved by us. You understand? And it said it. And the children of Israel made the children, it's like in the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor. Verse 14. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage and mortar and in brick and in a manner of all service of the field. Yeah, man. Then after that, they made us build these big pyramids, man, for no goddamn reason. And then to be honest with you, building pyramids is not Egyptian culture. That's black people culture. You understand? To be honest with you, that's always been black people culture, and they all started that when somebody dies. You understand? We got laws that you got to bury somebody when they die. So when somebody dies, you dig it up 6 feet, and then you put the body in the hole, and then you put the dirt back on top of the hole, and then after you put the dirt back on top of the hole, guess what? It's a lump now. It's a lump now in the ground because it's somebody in the hole now. You understand? So what the Egyptians did, they took that and they made it their culture, and they made it just build a big goddamn burial site for no goddamn reason. Just a big burial site, and they thought that when you die, all your riches and gold you get to take it with you. You know what I'm saying? So we had to build them these big pyramids. They put all their gold and all their jewels and clothing and their dogs and their servants. Sometimes the servants and their dogs had to die with them because they wanted them to serve with them in the afterlife. You understand? That's their culture, man. And it said, and they made so that's what they did. They made us build the pyramids, and it said in mortar and in brick. all manner of service of the field. You understand? And all manner of service of the field. How did Egypt become great? Egypt would have never been great without Puerto Ricans. Egypt would have never been great without the Northern Kingdom, Hispanics. You understand? Guatemalans, Peruvians, Venezuelans. You understand? Brazilians. And look, at Egypt would have never been great without. You know how I know? Because when you read further in the time of Joseph, Egypt had a famine. It was a, and not Egypt yet. It was a big famine in the Middle East, so everybody had to go to Egypt to get food. And Joseph had a dream. He had a prophecy that Egypt was going to have a famine for 7 years. If I'm not mistaken, it was like 5 or 7 years. He had a prophecy that it was going to have a famine, right? And so he said we gotta grow this food for 7 years, and we gotta store it. You understand? We gotta store all these crops and these food, these seeds, so that we won't starve to death. You understand? So when it said in all manner of service, and it said in service in the field, man, look at the Egyptians. They know how to be. They know how to deal with crops. You know what I'm saying? That ain't their culture. They don't know how to deal with crops like how black and Hispanics can. You know how I know? Because look who in the fields right now. Like black people, we was on plantations picking cotton, picking sugar cane and rice and beans. But guess what? The Hispanics, they picking everything you eat. When you go inside them grocery stores, you see them tomatoes with not a blemish on them, that lettuce and that broccoli, everything in that field, all your fruits and vegetables. Man, look at the Hispanics is making sure that you able to eat that. They making sure there ain't no bugs on it. They making sure that nigga that they water it correctly and all that. They doing all that. You understand? It wouldn't be no Kroger's if it wasn't for Hispanics. It wouldn't be no Save Mart. It wouldn't be no Food Court. You understand? It wouldn't be none of that. But it is that because Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians are in the field in all manner of service. We in the field. You understand? And it said it was rigor. And guess what? They did, and it would mean rigor meaning it was hard. You got the Hispanics that's working in the field from sun up to sundown, all day, every day, just to get paid under a few dollars an hour. You understand? They getting paid like 60 cents an hour or something. Wow, that's serving with rigor. That's a hard bondage right there. And when I'm doing this, I'm painting the correlation between Egypt and America. The same thing that was going on in Egypt is the same thing that we suffering right now in America. It's the same goddamn thing, man. You understand? Give me a second, Bubba Kashar. Give me 1 second, Bubba Kashar. I'm saying, and also, okay, what's my question? Hey, yeah, man, if you are watching the class, make sure you like and share the class, smash that like button, and subscribe to Sacramento Israelites, IHBK Sacramento. It's very, very important that you do that, man, so we can continue to put this truth out there. You understand? We can't allow our enemies to do more than us. We can't allow the Christian church to do more than us. You understand? We can't allow the fake Israelites to do more than us, man. So make sure you please smash that like button and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Baba Kashah. And it said, and the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon their stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall. You see that? It said, now this is abortion. Everybody pro-abortion in America right now, man, especially black people, not knowing that this is a tactic that your enemies use. Remember, we said let's deal wisely with them. He put us in the field. You understand? He made us build pyramids. He made us, in matter of all things, he made us have to go to work every goddamn day. But when before we didn't even have to do that, we was working for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We was working for ourselves, building our own community up. You understand? And guess what? Anytime your oppressor see that, he hated. The same way with the Egyptians. The Egyptians hate you. They hated to see black people building their people up. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Americans, they hated the same thing. That's why we had Black Wall Street. What did they do? They burnt the whole city down, shot everybody that if you was moving, you was getting shot. They shot everybody, dropped bombs on the city, and then after that, they took over the businesses. And then they made us work for them 20 years later in that same business that they stole from us. Just like they stole America. Before Christopher Columbus and the Europeans and the colonizers got here, America belonged to the Native American Indians, man. They didn't have to go work for anybody. They didn't have to work. They was working for themselves. They was getting it off the land. But America took over, murdered everybody, and then 300 years later, 200 years later, 100 years later, now we have to work for them. Now, the Native American Indians got to build all these big giant skyscrapers, man. And matter of fact, did I read that part? Oh yeah, I skipped that part. Salakia. And it said, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Python and Ramses. Man, they built treasure cities. That's what we did in America. What do you think San Francisco is? San Francisco is a treasure city. What do you think Washington D.C. is? When they the Twin Towers and all that. That is a treasure city. You understand? We think Chicago, all these different cities that we built up, that's great. New York, the Big Apple, that's a treasure city. Those are treasure cities, man. You understand? How you think they was able to build those cities up? Who you think built all those monuments? Who you think built all those big skyscrapers that's all in the goddamn clouds? Native American Indians built those up. Literally. Look it up. Native American Indians did it, man. You understand? Hey, these people been hating us. They took the country from us and then made us have to work for them after they stole it and took it from us. That's the devil, man. You understand? And that's the same thing with the Egyptians, man. We built Egypt up. You understand? Egypt was built up because of Joseph and the Israelites. That's why even to this day, Egypt is looked at as a great country. Everybody want to go take pictures with Egypt. You understand? But black people are so goddamn stupid. Instead of you comparing yourself to the Egyptians, if you really want to know about the Egyptian culture, look at the slaves. Look at all the people that they had as slaves, and then that'll tell you about what type of society that was. Don't look at the king. You understand? Of course, but that black people so naive. You understand? And then of course you're gonna look at the king because you're intrigued by diamonds and gold and this mysterious garbage. You understand? But if you really want to know about somebody's culture, look at the people that they had in slavery, man. And that's why the Bible is one of the what's the word? The Bible is one of the most greatest books ever published. You understand? Because it gives you both sides. Joseph and Moses, they stayed in the house of Pharaoh. We know how it was to be Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? All the other Israelites, they stayed in the goddamn ghetto. We know both sides. So if you want to know about the Egyptian culture, look at this. Look at the people who the Egyptians had as slaves, man. And then you will see what type of people that was. And for us in ISUBK, we did that. You understand? And guess what? We realized that those people were some disgusting, foul, dirty, wicked bastards. That's what we realized. And that's just the truth. And we realized that they're not our people at all. That's why they did what they did to us. You understand? So I'm going to keep reading. So this is the Pharaoh told the midwives. He told them, look, when you see the Egyptians when you see the Israelites having babies, if it be a boy, kill it. If it be a girl, don't kill it. This is abortion in the Bible. You understand? This is abortion in the Bible. Remember, they said, let's deal wisely with them. And how they wanted to deal wisely with us was killing our babies. You understand? The same thing Herod did. And when Jesus was born, guess what he did? He said he was with late term abortion. He said kill all the babies 2 and under. You understand? And guess what? America does the same thing. They want you to kill your baby. You understand? And not only do they want you to kill your baby, they want you to kill the male child. Why? Because they know that the seed is determined by the father. You understand? They know not only is the seed determined by the father, but that these babies that they having, if it's a boy, that's a warrior. You understand? We could stop their army right now by just killing their babies, and then they won't be able to produce an army. Because it's bad enough they're already having all these goddamn kids. You understand? And let me keep reading. And they said, and the king of Egypt, oh, sorry, verse 19. And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come into them. Therefore God dwelt with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. So he told the midwives to kill the kill the Israelite babies, right? And they said, man, look, we can't kill them. We can't kill a male child. We can't kill that baby because soon as we find out, we get word that they pregnant. Before we even get in there to be able to get close to the baby to kill it, as soon as we get in there, the baby's already out. The baby already out. And they know that ain't no woman gonna let you kill that baby. You understand? So they're like, man, we can't do it. And that's a slick thing for the Egyptians to do. They was basically telling the Israelite midwives to, like, when this baby is coming out, strangle it or something, or just break his neck immediately. So then as soon as you pull it out, you just snap his neck or something. The mom won't even be able to blame you for it. You understand? And she'll think that the baby just came out dead, stillbirth, whatever they call it. But the midwives, they feared God, and they said, you know what? They lied to Pharaoh. They said, look, we want to do what you said, but every time we come in the room, when we get word that somebody having a baby, as soon as we come in the room, the baby's already out, so we can't do nothing. And because of that reason, Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians were able to grow mighty in Egypt. You understand? You know why we not growing mighty in America? Because they didn't convince our midwives. They didn't convince not even the midwives, but the mother who's delivering the baby and having the baby to kill the baby. You ain't gotta wait to come out, kill it right now while it's in the womb. Like, Black women did turn their womb into a tomb. You understand? They convinced our women to do that, and that's how they was able to deal wisely with us. You understand? By doing that. And it said, verse 22, and Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. So he's still at it. He said, look, if this baby come out and you're not able to snap his neck and kill it when it come out, and when you get there and that baby's already out, man, throw it in the river and kill it. Throw it in the Nile River with all the goddamn alligators and crocodiles, and make sure that this baby does not live. You understand? Because this baby is going to replace me. Their children are going to sit on my throne. That baby going to grow up 10, 20 years from now. He's going to become a warrior, and he's going to link up with my enemies, and they're going to take Egypt from me. That's what they was afraid of. All right. So now that's the story. So now I just gave you a lot of correlations between Egypt and America: slavery, abortion, having to work a 9 to 5. What else? What else did we go over? Picking cotton, being like the Hispanics picking vegetables and fruits all goddamn day for nothing. What else? Building up Egypt. They said we built treasure cities. We built the pyramids. America, we did the same thing. We built Washington D.C. We put down a whole layout. What's his name? Benjamin Benedict. He put the whole layout down for Washington D.C. to build that, the streets and everything. We built the Twin Towers in D.C. We built all these cities. You understand? And we did the same thing in Egypt. All right, so look, we're gonna drop that. Let's go to verse 2. All right. Okay, so let's go to Exodus chapter 2, verse 23. And it said, and it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto God by the reason of the bondage. You understand? So after Pharaoh, so this Pharaoh died too. And we was going, at this point, we started to go through so much hell, and life began to be so miserable for us. You understand? It's so poverty stricken that we started crying out to God, like, man, Lord, please get us out of this hell. You understand? Yeah, we came to Egypt because it was a famine in the land, and then we ended up staying there 400 years as goddamn slaves. Lord, please get us out of this situation. That's what we did. And that's what we need to do in being in this kingdom right now. We need to be doing the same thing. We need to be crying out to the Lord. But guess what? The only way you can cry out to the Lord is in the ISBK. That's the only way you're able to cry out to the Lord, for the Lord to actually hear your prayer and And guess what? We pray all the time that this kingdom get destroyed for what they did to black people, man. Black people, black men only living to get 50-some years old, 60-some years old because he had to live a horrible life, a hard life of his wife not loving him because he got another family, his children not loving him. You understand? Everybody hating him, having to work every goddamn day for 40 years. Man, look at it, man. Well, I pray that this kingdom falls. I pray that this kingdom falls. Verse 24. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham and with Isaac and with Jacob. You understand? And guess what? The Lord, he remembered his covenant that he made with our forefathers. He remembered his covenant that he made with our forefathers. And then he said he's going to bring us out of Egypt because of that. Because he promised us land. He promised us the Middle East. He promised us parts of Egypt. He promised that we will be over all people. You understand? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to drop this. Matter of fact, we're going to jump. We're going to go to Exodus chapter 5. All right? All right. Exodus chapter 5, verse 1. And afterwards, Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. You see that? So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh, and they said, Man, look, let our people go. We signed to the Lord. The Lord heard Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, and he said, you know what? I'll remember the covenant that I made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You understand? And he rose up Aaron. He rose up Moses and Aaron, and he told Moses and Aaron, go to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh to let y'all go, just so y'all can serve me for one day. But what are we reading in Exodus the 2nd chapter? It said that they afflicted them with hard bondage. You understand? It said that, meaning that you can't get no day off. When it said they afflicted them, no, you can't get no day off. No, you can't get no raise. You understand? No, you can't do that. That's exactly what Pharaoh did. We just read it. We was already being afflicted, and we asked Pharaoh, can we go serve our God for one day? And what he said, let's read it again. And afterward, Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. Just so we can hold a feast in the wilderness. We won't even do it in Egypt, man. Because the Egyptians was racist. They didn't want to be around black people. You understand? They afflicted us. Like I said, they didn't want to be around black people. You walk inside a community, and Egyptians back in the day, try to go inside one of their stores or one of their little markets, they was telling you, no, we don't serve your kind. The same thing that America doing. And the Egyptians did the same thing. We don't serve your kind. You understand? And thus saith the Lord God of Israel. Oh yeah, verse 2. And Pharaoh said, Who is the Lord that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I know not the Lord, neither will I let Israel go. And guess what? They tell us this all the time. Man, look at, man, get over slavery. Lace up your bootstraps. You know what I'm saying? No, man, y'all are a hate group. Y'all want to serve the Lord. Y'all want to have Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And y'all want to do all these things in the Bible. Y'all some extremists. Don't go to your slavery and tell them that you're in the ISBK. You know what I'm saying? And then try to ask for a day off. Well, man, they're going to tell you no. And guess what? They're going to get sued for sure. But they're going to tell you no. You understand? No, you can't have no day off. You understand? No, you can't have no day off. No, you can't get a raise. No, you can't get paid leave for falling down the goddamn store somewhere and getting hurt on the job. No. You understand? You can't go serve your God. That's exactly what happens today is what happened back then. And it said, Salakia. All right. But that's crazy. He said, and Pharaoh said, Who is the Lord that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? And he told Moses and Aaron, nigga, we don't serve the same God. I serve Horus and Amun Ra and Seth and Geb That's who I serve. So who is this God that you telling me about that I should obey his voice? I serve my own God. I don't serve your God. And guess what? You know why he said that too? Because he know that the God of the Bible is not everybody's God. The God of the Bible is Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians God. You understand? I got a message right quick. No. All right. So let's continue. And they said, verse 3, and they said, the God of the Hebrews have made, that's like, and they said, the God of the Hebrews hath met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3 days' journey into the desert and sacrifice unto the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword. So they told Pharaoh, look, let us just serve our God for 3 days. Be back and be slaves in your kingdom. Let us just go serve our God for 3 days. That's all we want. You understand? You let us serve our God for 3 days, we'll come back. We just want to serve the God, serve the Lord over the weekend. From Friday to Sunday, that's all we want. You understand? And we'll be back and do whatever it is that you want. But but Pharaoh being so money hungry and being so hating Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians so much, he said, no, I want to allow you to get those days off. I need you to come into work. You can't, no, you're not getting paid leave. You're not getting a day off. I need you to come in. You know what I'm saying? That's what Pharaoh was basically saying. And the king of Egypt said unto them, wherefore do ye, Moses and Aaron, let the people from their works? He said, man, why you got the people out here believing this garbage that you saying? Why you got them out here believing that y'all got a God? Y'all supposed to serve our God. Why you got them believing that some God is gonna come save y'all from this hell and this slavery that we putting y'all through? Ain't no God gonna save y'all. Y'all been here 400 years. Ain't no, y'all don't have a God. You understand? If he do, he ain't gonna save y'all. Y'all been here 400 years. Why he ain't came yet? We've been doing y'all like this for 400 years. Why he ain't came yet? Why you and all this stuff that you teaching and telling y'all people now they stop working? You know what I'm saying? Because you told them that we need to go serve the Lord for y'all need to go serve y'all God for 3 days in the wilderness. Everybody keep coming to me trying to get the day off to go serve the Lord, get the weekend off, and I'm telling all y'all no. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's leaving work early and all that. Nah, man. Why you got the people? That's what he was basically saying. And wherefore, Aaron, and let the people from their works get you into your burdens. And Pharaoh said, behold, the people of the land now are many, and ye make them rest from their burdens. He said, look, man, there's so many of y'all. The Israelites, y'all, there's so many of y'all. And so if it's so many of y'all and y'all not working and y'all not being burdened with y'all burdens, meaning that y'all not working, guess what? I'm not making no money. And Moses, you the one, you put them up to this. You put all your people up to this to go inside the wilderness to serve y'all God for 3 days. You put this in their head, and now all of them stop working. You understand? That's what he was saying. And Pharaoh commanded the same day that taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, and heretofore let them go gather straw for themselves. So he said, look, instead of you being like, it's like if you had a job, like I said, I used to paint. Instead of them supplying you with the paint like they was doing before, he said, nigga, now we gonna make it even harder for them. Let them go get the straw themselves. When they come to work, it ain't gonna just be a pallet of, you know what I'm saying, a straw all on the pallet, ready for them to take it off the pallet. No, ain't none of that no more. Let them go get it themselves. You understand? So then guess what that means? Now you got to be at work earlier. You used to go at 7 o'clock. Now you got to be there at 5 o'clock because everything that you was doing is not prepped for you no more. Usually when you get to work, everything is prepped for you. But he said, like, don't prep it for them no more. Remember, y'all used to go get the straw for them? Let them go get the straw themselves. You understand? That's what he said. And the tail of the bricks, which they did make therefore too, ye shall lay upon them. Ye shall not diminish aught thereof, for they be idle. Therefore they cry, saying, let us go and sacrifice unto our God. He said, look, you know the only reason why they want to go serve their God in the wilderness, they want to go sacrifice unto their God because they idle. They not doing that. They not if they will be building my kingdom up how I told them to do it, they wouldn't be bored. They wouldn't be idle. You know what I'm saying? But he missing the whole point of you got us in slavery. We in the goddamn ghetto. We strung out on 40s and weed all goddamn day, just like in Egypt. We was living in hell. You know what I'm saying? But he said the only reason why y'all want to go serve God is because y'all idle. Y'all lazy. That's why y'all want to go serve God. Y'all being lazy. So since y'all being lazy, I'm gonna make it harder on y'all. Go get the straw and the brick yourself. Bring it back here and build me these pyramids. Build me these treasure cities. You understand? Build me. Make sure my farms and my plantations and everything is well kept. Since y'all so bored, since y'all want to go for 3 days, I'm gonna show you 3 days. All right. That's what he said. Therefore, more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor them therein, and let them not regard vain words. But he said, let them be laid upon the men more work. Let's put more work on the men. You understand? And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, thus said Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. So the taskmasters, which is the supervisors, they said, I know you need straw and mud and brick to build these pyramids, but guess what? We're not going to supply you with straw anymore. You have to go get it yourself. And you have to be back here at a certain time. I don't know what you're going to do, but you better start getting up earlier. You need to be at work at 7 o'clock. Now you need to be here at 5 because everything is not going to be prepped for you because y'all too lazy. I know we keep you out here, and that's the same thing that they was doing on the plantation. They looked at us to be lazy. If you didn't meet your quota, you didn't pick up, what was it, like 100 pounds of cotton a day or 50? I don't really know the number. You know what I'm saying? But if you didn't meet that quota, guess what? You got your back beat. You know why? Because they looked at you as being lazy. They don't look at the part where you've been on this plantation for 250 years and they're millionaires from you picking cotton. They looking at it like you being lazy as hell. You done picked 100 pounds all your goddamn life. Now you picking 80. You done made me all this money picking that. And now you made 80. Yeah, you need to get your back whooped. Now now you're gonna be out here from sundown to sunup. You understand? From sundown. From sunup to sundown. Now you're gonna really be out here. It ain't gonna just be 8 hours like it used to. It ain't gonna just be 10 hours. Now you really gonna be out here picking this cotton. That's the same. This is the same thing what the Pharaoh said. He said, "Thus said Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. I ain't gonna give you the things that you need. You gonna have to go find it and be back here on time." You understand? Verse 11: Go ye get the straw where ye can find it. So he said, "Go find it yourself. Ye not aught of your work shall be diminished." And guess what? I still need you to be back here doing the work that I told you to do. I still need you to complete the task that I put you over. Whether you're in the field, you build the treasure city, or you build the pyramids, I need you doing this work. Because if you don't, you will get beat. That's what they did. So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw. We couldn't find no straw, so we had to gather stubble. And the taskmasters hasted them, saying, "Fulfill your works, your daily tasks, as when there was straw." So they didn't even give a damn about us having to be scattered all over the city, having to look for this straw, not even being able to come up with it. We had to gather up rubble. And guess what? They on us the whole time, beating us, whipping us, talking to us crazy, calling us all type of bywords. No, get your work done. I don't give a damn if you ain't got the straw now to do it. You better continue your work and carry out this task just like you had the straw. Ain't no excuses. We need this city, this treasure city built up. We need Washington, D.C. built up. We need Chicago built up. Then we need California built up. You understand? We need Atlanta built up. That's what they was doing. And the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick both yesterday and today, as hereunto? So Pharaoh put taskmasters over black people. You know what I'm saying? And he put the taskmasters that he put over black people were black people. You understand? And I don't know if you ever had a black person as your taskmaster or your supervisor over at a slavery or at a job. They do the most. They be the main ones trying to tell you. He a minute late for break. Hey, yeah, man, you can't be late like that, man. It's gonna fall on both of us. We only two black dudes at this job. It's gonna make us look bad. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? And next, you know, he telling them. They say you wonder why you don't. You wonder why you don't like your supervisor at whatever job you working at, because you ain't supposed to like him. You ain't supposed. He's a goddamn taskmaster. He's only there to make sure you carry out whatever task that the slave master told you to carry out. You understand? And he said, "Wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick both yesterday and today?" So they said, "Look, you falling behind. We told y'all to start finding the brick in the straw, and y'all can't find it. Y'all been gone all day. You ain't finding it, and y'all making us have to beat y'all. We don't want to beat y'all. It's gonna hurt us better than it hurt y'all. We don't want to do this, but you're not doing what we told y'all to do. You're not building. You're not meeting your quota. You supposed to build a few cities a day. You ain't doing that. You supposed to pick a certain amount of cotton a day. You ain't doing it. So now we have to beat you. You have to get punished for it. That's what they said. Fulfill your task in making brick both yesterday and today, and herefore too. There, then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried unto Pharaoh, saying, "Wherefore dealest thou thus with thy servants?" So the brothers who were set up over certain tasks, they start complaining to Pharaoh. It was like, "Nigga, why are you doing this to us? We already built you all these cities. You know what I'm saying? We saved Egypt from having a famine and everybody starving to death. You understand? We doing all these great things in Egypt, man. And why are you treating black people like this? Why are you treating Hispanics like this and Native American Indians?" That's what they went next. Then there is no straw given unto thy servants, and they say unto us, "Make brick," and behold, thy servants are beaten, but the fault is in thine own people. He said, "Look, you man, look, you telling us to build these cities up and build these pyramids and build these treasure cities and make sure we picking all these vegetables and fruit in the field and doing everything that you tell us to do. You understand? Making your streets and your sidewalks and you know what I'm saying? You telling us to do all these things, but we ain't able to do it because you ain't supplying us with the materials that we need. And then in return, y'all beating us for it. Y'all beating us for it, and then wonder why we can't get it done. And it ain't our fault that this is going on. This is y'all fault." That's what he said. "Make brick and behold, thy servants are beaten." It was like just like how they was beating us in America. You see all those pictures. You pull up pictures, man. Just type in slavery. You gonna see brothers getting kicked in their back, socked in the back of the head. You understand? Getting hit with water hoses. Dogs sicked on them. The photo in black and white. Dogs sicked on them. You get slapped while you sitting down trying to sit in the same restaurant. You got all this horrible thing. You get hung from a tree, and it's like the whole city, the whole white city, then came out and surrounded your body while you mutilated, got your rod cut off, pants pulled down to your ankles, hanging from a goddamn tree, with your eyes wide open, dead. And they sitting there taking pictures with it, having a picnic. That's what the Egyptians was doing, man. They was beating us. They was beating. We didn't do and meet our quota like we were supposed to do every day, and they was beating us for it. Meanwhile, you got niggas running around talking about they Egyptian. You run around with an ankh on talking about you ain't not Egyptian. Dumb dumb. You could never be Egyptian. The Egyptians was racist. They hated black people. You understand? They hated black people. You couldn't even go inside the same restaurant as them. Pharaoh didn't even want to sit with the Israelites. You know why? Because we had beards. He's like, that's disgusting. You know, the Egyptians was homosexuals. They shaved all the hair off their body. That's why when Joseph got out of prison, what they do? They made him shave his beard and his afro off. You understand? Because that was their culture. They made him get a line up. That was their culture. And guess what? You got black people still doing that today. They get black people get lineups every day. That's why black barbershops are so popular in the black community. You understand? Because we want to be Egyptian. That's why our women walk around half naked with their titties out, slacking, with their breast out, with their front butt showing, with their behind out, twerking, all the goddamn videos. You know why? Because we want to be African. That's not our being half naked. That's not our culture. You understand? Even if you're like you at RUPK events, all women can't even. You're not even supposed to have your shoulders out or your breasts at UPK events. You ain't supposed to do that. You know why? Because it's not our culture to be half naked. I ain't saying that's half naked, but you know what I'm saying. You always wanna look good, man. And you can look good by being covered up. But you know what we got from being half naked from? We got that from Africans. Africans walk around half naked. You can type it up the History Channel right now. It's gonna be some dirty, skinny, bug life woman walking around with her titties hanging out to the side. You know what I'm saying? With some sandals on with hella flies on her breast feet, half naked. Same thing with the men. Men walk around with a goddamn thong on and some slippers and a spear. And that's what you want. Like, well, like, why you like? That's the thing. Like when you bring up Egypt, black people want to be Egyptians, but why you just can't be the regular nigga in the mud hut chasing an antelope on feet? Why you just can't be the regular nigga in the mud hut? Why you can't be the regular African with the plate in his lip? You know what I'm saying? Why you can't be the nigga with the African with the plate in his lip with the Jurassic Park bone through his nose? Bone this goddamn thick through his nose. Why you can't be them? Why you gotta be the Pharaoh with the gold and all that? No, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It just don't make no sense, man. You understand? You wasn't Pharaoh. You was the ones that was enslaved. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. More else. All right, okay, verse 17. But he said, "Ye are idle. Ye are idle." Basically, so Pharaoh responded and said, "Nah, it ain't our fault. It's y'all fault. Y'all lazy. That's why these pyramids ain't getting built. That's why my cities ain't getting built up. You know what I'm saying? That's why my mansions ain't getting built up. That's why my streets don't look all good because y'all lazy as hell. Black, Hispanic, Native Americans are lazy. Is that not what they tell us today in America? That's what they say. They say the same thing that Pharaoh said. They said you lazy. We tell them about 400 years of being enslaved. We said, damn, what y'all mean, nigga? Our community is the way it is because of slavery. Our communities is the way it is because of poverty. If black people would never be in poverty, there would be no crime. You understand? There would be nobody destroyed like how we destroyed, dying how the way we dying. You know what I'm saying? Our communities turned out the way it is because of poverty. Poverty creates crime. That's why our community is the way it is. But you know what? You know when we say that, they don't want to take the blame for that. So they say, you know what? Now y'all lazy. Y'all, everybody want to blame the white man. Y'all want to blame white people for that. Woo, woo, woo. Man, no, nigga, you lace up your bootstraps. You understand? Gird up your loins. Be a man. Don't want to forget about what happened to you. Keep going forward. You understand? And just like the rapist and the pedophile molester and the murderer he is, he don't never want you to talk about what he did to you. They don't never want you to talk about it. You understand? That is the spirit of all these heathens. They don't want you to talk about it. They want you to get over it and just continue to live your life. You understand? That's what Pharaoh was basically saying. He said, I'm gonna read 16 again. This is the Israelite talking to Pharaoh. There is no straw given unto thy servants, and they said to you, make brick. He said, look, ain't no straw and no brick being given to us, but the taskmasters that you put over us, they keep saying, make it, go make it, go make it. We like, man, how we gonna make it? We ain't got the material. We don't have the things that we need to make it. So why y'all keep beating us, telling us to make it? We don't have it. And behold, thy servants are beaten, but the fault is in thine own people. He said, look, your people beating us, but it's not our fault. It's their fault because they're not giving us the stuff we need. You understand? You think that we want to come out here and get beat? Just like we was on the plantation. You think we want to get beat, our backs beat, and salt poured into the goddamn wound? You think black people wanted that? You think that we wanted to see our men get broken and then a horse tied to both of his legs and get ripped apart in front of the women? You think You think that we wanted our babies to be used as alligator bait? Because that's what Pharaoh wanted to do too. He said if a Egyptian child be born, He said, throw it in the river. That's what America was doing. They was using our babies as alligator bait. So I don't understand, like, how, how can you not see the correlation between America and Egypt? How can you not see that correlation and see the same thing that was going on in Egypt is the same thing that we're experiencing right now? It's the exact same thing, man. From the abortions to black on black crime to police brutality to slavery, you understand, to all that. How can you not see that correlation, man? You know why you don't want to see that correlation? Because you're Christian. You can't possibly, like, you so much of a slave. Like you what's his name? You Samuel Jackson on Django. That's who you are. You Samuel Jackson on Django. You can't possibly see niggas thriving. You can't possibly fathom um telling your oppressor he's the reason why he is the way it is. You can't fathom that. He said, but Pharaoh said unto him, no, it ain't my people's fault. But he said, ye are idle, you are idle. He said, y'all are lazy. No, you just lazy. That's why you can't do it. Therefore ye say, let us go and do sacrifice unto the Lord. He said, so you only saying let us sacrifice unto the Lord because you lazy. That's all. That's what's going on here. Y'all ain't doing what I told y'all to do because y'all lazy. And that's the same thing that America said. Black people are lazy. They don't want to get a job. You understand? They don't want to fix their people. They don't want to fix their women. All they want to do is sell drugs and gangbang and be whores and prostitutes and pimps. That's all they want to do. They lazy. That's what they say about black people. You understand? But never do they want to look at the other side of the coin where we're that way because we learn how to be pimps from them. We learn how to be prostitutes from them. We learn how to gangbang from them. That's not black people culture. We learned that from them. And it was the same thing in Egypt. We learned how to be like that from Pharaoh. Black people learned how to hate each other from being like Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? Black people learn how to abort their baby because of Pharaoh. That's where we learned that from. That's not black culture. You understand? It's like, go therefore now, verse 18. Go therefore now and work, for there shall no straw be given unto you, yet ye shall deliver the tale of bricks. He said, look, now get on my face. Go work. Go back to work. Continue to build my kingdom up for me. And guess what? You're not going to get the credit. You ain't going to get the credit. Like, look, who built America? We built America. We don't get the credit for it. But meanwhile, they telling us that we lazy. America got built off of black people, Hispanic, Native American Indians, picking sugar cane, cotton, picking all these different things, man, building all these cities up. It got built off the back and the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. And guess what? In 2022, they telling you that you lazy. Meanwhile, they inherited everything everything that your oppressor and that the colonizer and these heathens inherited. It was stolen. They didn't earn this. You understand? They didn't work in the fields for 400 years. You see what I'm saying? They didn't live through Planned Parenthood and the crack epidemic in the prison systems. They didn't live through none of that. But then they're telling you that you lazy, man. America is an evil place, and America needs to be destroyed, man. Just like how Egypt was destroyed. America ain't gonna be nothing but goddamn sand and smoke. That's what America gonna be for what they did to Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. And guess what? It's righteous that happened. It's righteous and it's good that should happen to this kingdom. You understand? Because if Christ don't return and that don't happen, guess what? They gonna continue to destroy Black Hispanics even more than what they already done. And they did a number on us. They did a number on us, man. You understand? Verse 19. And the officers of the children of Israel did see that they were in evil case after it was said. And look, guess what? And after they had that conversation with Pharaoh, after he said, I ain't giving you nothing. Y'all lazy. Go back to work. I don't care that y'all been building Egypt for 400 years. I don't care. Y'all lazy. Go back to work. After that, those brothers was wise, and they said, you know what? We are in an evil situation. Hey, we in an evil situation, and that's what we did in the ISBK. You understand? That's what we did. You see all those smart remarks that Donald Trump made. Yeah, when you pull black people over, don't do the nice thing when you put your hand on their head and put them in the car. Just throw them in the car. You understand? Joe Biden said black babies is like roaches. We dealing with an evil thing. We dealing with an evil thing. President Barack Obama, which was a goddamn Egyptian, was a Hamite. He signed some bill that's saying that two men can marry each other, which ain't marriage, but two men can get with each other, and it's not illegal. They won't get locked up for it. They won't be put to death for it. Two women can be with each other, and it's a good thing. This is an evil place, man. You understand? But what they said that they were in an evil case. This case that we in America, we in an evil case. And if you don't see that, man, look, Christianity got you sleep. Christianity got you sleep. Wanted to be Egyptian got you sleep. And after it was said, ye shall not diminish aught from your bricks of your daily tasks. They said, guess what? They said, man, this is an evil thing. We didn't told him what the problem was, and he said, look, still go back and build these cities up and build our treasure cities and the pyramids. Still go back and build it. And they met Moses and Aaron, who stood in the way as they came forth from Pharaoh. So as these brothers is coming from Pharaoh, they seen Moses and Aaron coming up, and they said unto them, the Lord look upon you and judge, because ye have made our Savior, our Savior, to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to slay us. So they mad at Pharaoh. So it's like they mad at Moses and Aaron. They said, because of this thing, because you told us that the God of our ancestors visited us and said that we need to go have a Passover, we need to go celebrate and sacrifice it to him, because you told us that, and you got everybody's spirits up and going to serve God, because of God going to free us from this slavery. Now we went to go holler at Pharaoh and told him that our work too hard, and Pharaoh told us, man, get back to work. You a lazy bum. You know what I'm saying? You a lazy bum. You got enough energy to have all these goddamn kids. You can't work. You a lazy bum. And now that we gonna get beat even more, and now we gonna have to go to work and not get paid even more. Like, we black people, you about to experience that right now. Who you think inflation is targeted? You got all those stimulus checks and EDD and PPP loans, and then guess what? Inflation hit because of it. Gas prices went up, food went up, rent went up, the cost of living went up, housing went up, and guess what? You still working at that same job and you did not get a raise. How you gonna survive? And that's what these brothers said. They said, because of that, because you complained and told us all these things, now inflation is about to go up, and we're not going to get paid more. We're not going to be, it's bad enough we can't pay our car notes and our houses, and we can't pay for all this stuff. Now we have to pay even more money, and then we ain't going, you know what I'm saying? And that's what black people finna start experiencing right now. It's a time gonna come when you have to choose whether you gonna have to buy your medicine or get some food. That's where it's coming. That's what the time is coming on black people right now, man. I'm gonna keep reading. Verse 22. And Moses turned unto the Lord and said, Lord, wherefore hast thou so evil entreated this people? Why is it that thou hast sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he have done evil to this people. Neither hast thou delivered thy people at all. So Moses went to the Lord, spoke to the Lord, like, man, look, ever since you told me what you told me, now Pharaoh is being even more evil to our people. Now he beat them even more. He giving them more duties. He giving them more tasks. You understand? He keeping them from their family. Got to work all goddamn day, from sun up to sundown. And what would you tell me to tell these people this for if you weren't gonna save them, Lord? That's what Moses said, right? Then said the Lord to Moses, thou shalt not slacken. Now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh. For with a strong hand shall he let them go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land. So he said, I did this so because look at now what Pharaoh's gonna do is he's definitely gonna let y'all go. He gonna let y'all go now. Watch. I'm gonna make sure of it. He gonna let y'all go with a strong hand. Meaning he's not gonna let y'all. He gonna try his best, his hardest to get y'all up out of there. Just like how he's trying his hardest to keep you in slavery and to keep you working a goddamn 9 to 5 and a job and to abort your baby and police beating on you. Look, he's going to try to get you out of that land. And God said it to Moses and said it to him, I am the Lord, and I appeared unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob by the name of God Almighty, but by my name Jehovah was I not known unto them. And for y'all who don't know, no, prior to Moses, nobody knew the Lord's name. Adam didn't know God's name. Abraham didn't know his name. Isaac didn't know his name. And even Jacob didn't know his name. Moses was given the Lord's name. Yahweh is the Most High Power's name. And that name was given to Moses. He gave his name to Moses. Nobody else. He said, I'm the Most High Power, and it's going to be known unto them who I am. That's what he said. And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, wherefore they were strangers. Just like how we strangers in America. And I have also heard groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage. And I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore, saying to the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring ye out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid ye out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. You understand? So then he go into saving Israel, man. When you continue to read the story, he said he gonna bring us out of Egypt, and he gonna save us, and he gonna judge Egypt with a great judgment. And when you read, he destroyed he sent plagues all over Egypt. Everybody was dying from all the plagues. You understand? And then on top of that, he destroyed their military. He destroyed the Egyptians. That's why you see in the day, the people that's in Egypt right now, they ain't even real Egyptians. Those Arabs or something, wild or white people. The real Egyptians is South Africans, people from Sudan and all that. Those are the real Egyptians. But you know why they're not in that land and why Egypt ain't nothing but a tourist site and sand? Because God destroyed it, like he said he would. You understand? And guess what? America is Egypt as well. So now we're going to drop that. We're going to pull that. We're going to pull that. Let's go to Revelation chapter 18. We'll go to Revelation chapter 18, I think verse 4. Or verse 2. Hold on. Let me see. Bear with me. Okay, hold on. Just 1 second. Let me look this up right quick. I know it's in Revelation. I think it might be 13. Let me see. But I'm going to show you how even the Bible says that America is spiritually Egypt. All right, give me 1 second. Bible good job. And while you at it, man, make sure you like and share the class. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to ISUPK Sacramento. Smash that like button. It's very important. I can't stress that enough. You know what I'm saying? All right, so it's I'm tripping. It's Revelations 11 and 8. I'm all the way off. So I care about that. Revelations 11 and 8. Revelation chapter 11 verse 8. And their bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. America is, this scriptures talk about America. America is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Why? Because Sodom was a place where all homosexuals grew up, lesbians, dykes, non-binary, binary people. queers, transgenders. What Sodom and Gomorrah was. That was, and guess what? America is spiritually that place. That's why they said children can pick their gender. You got like America's so sick. It's some predator out there that's trying to make sure that you aren't protecting your child. You understand? There's some predator out there that's making sure that you're not protecting your child by saying that children should be allowed to pick their gender. That's why this place is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah. You got men cutting their rods off becoming women, which you still a man. You got women cutting their breast off like what's her name, Griner, that's locked up in Russia right now. She cut her breast off. She been married for about 4 years to a woman. You understand? Because this place is spiritually Sodom. And what else did it say? Verse 8, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt. And why is America called Egypt? America is called Egypt because this is the place. Like America had black people with Hispanic and Native American Indians in slavery for how long? Does anybody know? When did black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians go into slavery? Up under the oppressor in the Western Hemisphere. It started with the Hispanics. A lot of people don't know. Slavery started with the Native American Indians. It didn't start with black people like how you think. It started with Native American Indians in 1492. You understand? They took 1,800 Taino Indians back to Europe as slaves. And then almost 200 years later, 150 years later, they came and got black people from the west coast of Africa. They came and got Haitians, Jamaicans, and so-called Negro and black people from the west coast of Africa. And they brought us all over to America, South America, Europe. They brought us to all these different places. You understand? But that's why America is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah in Egypt. This is spiritually Egypt because we've been enslaved in America for 400 years. How long was the Israelites enslaved under the Egyptians? 400 years. It's so many correlations, man. It's so many correlations. It is that you don't know it because you go to church to listen to music and to see people dance and clap and fall out. That's what you go to church for. You don't go to church to actually learn and know the Bible. Because if you did, black people in America would be woke. They'd know that this Bible is talking about them. This is about them. But we don't know that. You understand? Because we still think we Egyptians and Christians and all the other garbage. But that's why America is spiritually Egypt, because the Egyptians had Israelites as slaves and America has Israelites as slaves. That's why if you never seen the dollar, why do you think the dollar is on the back of the pyramid? I mean, why do you think the pyramid is on the back of the dollar bill? Why is the pyramid on the back of American currency? You know why? Because they letting you know that this is Egypt again. They copied down to a T everything the Egyptians did. You ever seen that chair with Abraham Lincoln sitting down? You know what I'm saying, in Washington D.C. Got that from Egypt. That's how the pharaohs were sitting down. What about the obelisk, that thing that go up and that's pointed at the top? They got that from Egypt. That's why the pyramid. And guess what? The people that wrote the Declaration of Independence, guess what their religion was? Guess what their philosophy was? You know what I'm saying? They worship Egypt. You understand? That's what they was. They was what do you say? They were Freemasons. They was Freemasons, and they were builders of the Temple of Horus and the All-Seeing Eye. That's who the founders were: George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, all these different people, man. They was Freemasons. That's what their religion, their philosophy was. Studying Egypt. You understand? That's why when you look on the back of the dollar bill, you got the pyramid, but the top of the pyramid is separated from the actual pyramid, and they got an eye inside of it. Why? Because that's the god that they serve. They serve the god of Egypt, Horus. That's who the Egyptians serve. The all-seeing eye of Horus. You understand? So the correlation is there. You just gotta understand the Bible. You gotta understand that the Bible is not a novel. It's not a book. This is actual history. You understand? It's prophecies in this book. It's real knowledge and wisdom and understanding. This is the greatest book ever published in real life. And it's the most copied and published book ever in the world. And that's for a reason, man. You understand? So that's why, but I don't want to get sidetracked. That's why America is spiritually Egypt in Sodom and Gomorrah, because the same things that they did in those times and in those lands under those Africans is the same thing that they're doing in America right now to black people. Same thing. You understand? So we're gonna drop that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15. All right. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So when you read Deuteronomy, it said as early as the 17th century, they say, sir, yeah, absolutely. You understand? The 17th century is the 1600s, and that's when black people went into slavery. But it started in the 13th century, which is the 1400s, with the Taino Indians. That's when it started. But altogether, it's been almost 500 years we've been enslaved. And the same thing happened to the people of the Bible. The Israelites of the Bible, the same thing happened to them. How could it be that the same thing that happened to the greatest people to ever exist is happening to so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians right now? You know why it's happening? Because we're the same people. That's why the same thing that was going on in Egypt with the police brutality, black on black crime, you know what I'm saying, abortion, all that stuff going. You know why it's going on with black people right now in 2022, thousands of years later? Because we're the same people. That's how you know we're not white. That's how you know we're not Africans or Arab or whatever, all these or Buddhists or Chinese. That's how you know. Because if we was the same people, our story will be the same story that they have today. Go to Africa in 2022. They got plates in their lip. They put cow doodle all over their body, and they bathe in cow pee. If we was the same people, that would be our culture. We would be doing that. You understand? We don't do that because that's not our culture. But guess what? We do the exact same thing people in the Bible was doing thousands of years ago. Why we don't do what Africans do? You understand? Why we don't do what Christians do? Why we don't do what Muslims do? Like Muslims, they won't eat pork all day, but guess what? They will eat some camel and some shrimp, crab, and lobster. Why we don't do that? Why don't we, Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, why don't we have a desire to do what the Arabs do? Because we don't have the same culture. But guess what? You could pick this Bible up and you could read about the Arabs in this Bible, and guess what? They doing the same thing that they're doing today that their ancestors was doing in the time of in the time of this Bible, thousands of years ago. You can go look at the Africans and read this Bible and see that they doing the same thing that their ancestors was doing a long time ago. Look at the Chinese, even the white man, the oppressor. Look at what he's doing, what Esau did in his Bible. Look at what the white man doing today, and guess what? He's doing the exact same thing his ancestors did. But guess what? Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, we don't do nothing those people do. But guess what? We do the exact same thing that the Israelites do. You know why? Because we are the people of this book. This Bible belongs to us. It's our records. It's our history. You understand? You just got to take it back. You understand? But this Deuteronomy 28:15. It said, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon you. So this is Moses. After we left, after we had the Exodus and we left Egypt, the Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. We've been had the laws, but now we became a nation of people. Now we're creating a society, so we had to write the laws down. That's where it comes from. When I say the law of Moses, it's not Moses' law. You understand? The laws was given to Adam. And when they say the Lord breathed the breath of life into Adam, and he became a living soul, that's not talking about actual breath. It's talking about the law, statutes, and commandments. And that's in Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. You understand? But it's called the law of Moses because it was wrote down in the time. You understand? Just like when you enter any contract with anybody, you have a verbal agreement and then you have a written contract. Like when you go get a car from the car lot, oh yeah, man, I want this car. Okay, you can have this car. The car note is just month to month. I'm saying we're gonna print the contract out. You got to sign it. That's what the Bible's about. We had to sign this contract. Moses threw blood on us and all that, and we agreed that we'd do everything in this book. But guess what? And guess what? We agreed that we would do everything in this book. And Moses told us, look, so if you do everything in this book, everything that I'm telling you to do, what's going to happen is you're going to be the greatest people ever. You're not you all people will be under you. You will be above all people. But if you don't, it's a stipulation. But if you don't, you're gonna be in hell. You're gonna be in slavery. You understand? You're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna be killing your kids with abortion. You're gonna be a drug addict. You're gonna overdose like Whitney Houston and DMX and what's his name? Triple X Tension. You understand? Like Prince. Prince fell in the goddamn elevator, you know what I'm saying, dead from a drug overdose. Whitney Houston found in the face down in the bathtub, dead from an overdose. That's what's going to be happening to you. Children going to be tried as an adult and be in prison for 30, 40 years. That's what's going to happen to you if you don't keep these laws. You're going to catch AIDS, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. You understand? That's what's going to happen to you if you don't keep these laws. You can go to America for 400 years as slaves. That's what's going to happen if you don't keep the laws. So that's what he's saying. I'm going to read it again. But it shall come to pass, meaning this will happen, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake you. And guess what? We've been overtaken with child molestation. We've been overtaken with abortion. 400,000 babies aborted from Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians annually, meaning every year. We've been taken with the prison system. Over 1 million brothers locked up. There's more brothers in prison than there were actual slaves in America. We've been overtaken with these curses. We see it. We overtaken with homosexuality. And guess what? It wouldn't be no homosexuals if it wasn't for predators. That's what you gotta understand. It wouldn't be that. Our community's completely been swept away and overtaken with these curses that's in this book, man. You understand? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Let's just drop down. And this is talking about America. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And this is one of the curses that the Lord said was going to happen. He said he was going to bring us into Egypt again with ships. If you read the Bible, we just read Exodus. The Israelites never went back into Egypt as slaves after the first time. It never happened. On top of that, we never went back into Egypt. First off, it never happened the second time. And then we never went to Egypt. How can you get to Egypt on ships when Jerusalem is 90 miles away? It's like driving from Reading to San Francisco. It's like driving from Sacramento to San Jose, damn near. You know what I'm saying? It's 90 miles away. How the hell? And then, mind you, it's 90 miles away, but it's just water. Egypt and Jerusalem, Jerusalem is 90 miles away from Egypt. It's 90 miles of all land. There's no water. How can you go back there? How can you go back to Egypt on ships? Let's read that again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. The Lord said he was going, if we disobey these laws, statutes, and commandments, we was going to go back into Egypt. But this time when we go to Egypt, it's going to be with ships. But first, let me show you that Egypt is not the real name for that land. The real name for that land is Mizraim, which was one of Ham's grandsons, one of Ham's sons. Egypt means bondage. Let's go back to Exodus. Exodus 20 and 2. Exodus 20 and 2. The Lord said you're going to go back to Egypt again with ships. So let's see what Egypt is. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Okay, out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Egypt is a house of bondage. That's what Egypt means. Egypt is a Greek word which means bondage. The Lord freed us out of the house of bondage, out of slavery. But this time in Deuteronomy 20 and 68, he said, and the Lord will bring thee into Egypt again with ships, meaning that you're going back into bondage. But this time you go into bondage, it's going to be with ships. You understand? That's what's going to happen. You're going to go into slavery with ships, and you're going to have to travel 3 months across the Atlantic. 100 million of y'all going to die just on the way over there. I'm saying when they took the Taino Indians from Puerto Rico, Bridgeport, when they took them from there, they took 1,800 Taino Indians. Only 300 survived, and they said this is good business. The Lord said that was going to happen to us by the way of wherefore I spake unto thee. And he said it's going to happen exactly how I said it was going to happen. I was just like it. So now my question is, how did black people get to America? Because, you know, in the school system now, you know, they didn't switch the whole narrative. They didn't change the whole narrative. Now they teach in the class, it's not even the transatlantic slave trade no more. They said the transatlantic slave trade is a transatlantic migration, meaning that you just came over here and you wanted to come here. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to come here. You didn't come here because, you know, somebody forced you. You didn't come here because of racketeering. Somebody put a yoke of iron on your neck and on your feet and legs. You didn't come here because of that. You know, you came over here because you volunteered to be an indentured servant. That's what they're teaching in the school system. And that's why the truth is so important. That's why John 8:32 says, you shall know the truth, and this shall set you free. If black people knew the truth about slavery and how it was recorded in the Bible and how this whole book is about them, they'd go about living their life totally different. Because guess what? We already got a zeal to want to serve God, but not according to knowledge. And that's why we go join the conscious community. That's why we go join Islam. That's why we join the Christian church, because we got a zeal to want to serve somebody in God, but not according to knowledge, man. And they made this book seem like it's not knowledge. They took this book and they defiled it. And you know why they defiled this book? Your oppressor, they defiled this book, man, with all these lies. And they defiled it because this book doesn't belong to them. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to value this like it's belonged to them because they know it doesn't belong to them. This is the records of somebody else. They're not going to value this book. That's why they defiled it. That's why it's up to you, Black, Hispanic, Native American Indian man, to pick this book back up, man. And know that this is your culture. This is how you get out of hell. This is how you stop selling drugs. This is how you stop hating your brother. This is how you stop getting your women to stop aborting their babies and being whores. This is how you get your children to stop gangbanging. I'm telling you, it's in this book. Everything, man. It's in this book. That's how you know we the people of this Bible, man. But the Lord said, if you don't listen, you're going to go back into Egypt again by the whereof I spake unto thee. Meaning that it's going to happen just like I said it was going to happen. And guess what? That's how black people got to America. That's how Hispanics got to Europe and all these other different countries. With ships. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold into your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. And he said, guess what? My allergies like it. There you shall be sold into your enemies. They said, we're going to go into America and we're not going to see our homeland again. We're going to go into slavery and we're going to get dispersed all throughout the earth, the four corners of the earth. And guess what? Guess what we won't be? We won't be in our homeland. We won't be in Israel. We won't be in Saudi Arabia. All that's our land. All that land in the Middle East, Iran, Iraq, that's all Black, Hispanic, Native American Indian land. Lord said we ain't going to see that land no more because we decided that we want to be disobedient, man, and serve what we want to serve. That's why. And it said, and there ye shall be sold into your enemies. No, the oppressor and the colonizer is our friend. Ye shall be sold into your enemies. Lord said we're going to be sold into our enemies. The people that bought and sold black people, those were our enemies. The people that had you on plantations, you understand, that beat your back, that the people that's over you right now, that got you working a 9 to 5, suffering through inflation, suffering through like the gas prices is oppressing me. I'll be oppressed by this damn gas. I go to camp and be oppressed, $80 every time to make it to camp and back. I'm oppressed, man. You understand? And it said, you shall be sold into your enemies in the end. Because only your enemy will do that. Only your enemy will hang you on trees from city to city. Only your enemy will put millions of you on boats for 300 years at a time, 200 years at a time, bring you to a land that you don't even know, putting you on plantations, beating you, taking you, separating you from your family, put drugs in your community, get y'all to hate each other, turn your woman against you, put you in the ghetto on the projects. Only an enemy would do that. Why can't you see that? A friend would never do that to you. Somebody who loves you would never do that to you. You understand? And I don't understand how somebody like that, like Christians say God loves everybody. A person like that should never be loved. I'm just going to keep it straight up. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. A person like that did what they did to Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, they should never be loved. And guess what? God hates them. God hates them. That's what you ain't going to learn in your church. I bet you that. You know what I'm saying? You shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And he said, no man's going to be able to save you. The word buy is an old English word that means save. And he said, guess what? No man going to be able to save you for it. Marcus Garvey tried to save black people from slavery with the Go Back to Africa movement. It didn't work. Black people went to Africa, and Africans was over there, General Buttneck, whatever the hell his name is, they was over there eating us like meat. They was eating us like hamburgers, literally. That's how disgusting them Africans is. Marcus Garvey tried to do it. Malcolm tried to do it by getting us to join Islam and, you know what I'm saying, assalamu alaikum, salami. He tried to do it by doing that. He failed. Him and Marcus Garvey, they failed terribly. Now Islam is a jailhouse religion. Martin Luther King tried to do it by trying to get us to be Christians and join hands with our oppressors. And guess what? He failed terribly. Now black people don't own nothing in their communities at all. Now we destroyed even way better than what we was. You understand? Prior to slavery, prior to the Emancipation Proclamation. Now we're even more destroyed because of his dream. You got so many people that tried, but you know why they failed? Because the Bible said, no man shall buy you, meaning that no man is going to be able to save you from this. Only Christ. When Christ returns, he's going to be able to save us from this. Nobody else. So you can put your money on TD, Creflo Dollar, and Geno Jennings. You understand? Your fake Israel leaders. You understand? Who else? Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad. You can put all your burdens and all your hope into them, and guess what? They're not going to do the job. Like and then like this. Let me just say this, man. Like what we doing in IHBK, we doing what every black group failed to do. We building up black people, man. We actually build up black people with the truth. We doing everything that your leaders failed to do, and that's facts, whether you like it or not. The truth will set you free, and that's the truth. We doing everything that your leaders couldn't do. You understand? But it said, no man shall buy you, meaning no man is going to be able to save you, man, until Christ return. And guess what? When Christ return, guess what he's going to do? He's going to make an example out of America. You understand? He's going to make a cold example out of America. Let me see. Let me get Exodus 9 and 16 right quick. I had wrote that down earlier for something. Let me see. Let me see if it's something that I need. Exodus 9. Yeah. And like I said, it said, no man shall buy you, man. Look, when Christ returns, he's going to destroy America. With angels, he's going to return with angels. He's going to destroy America for what they did to so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, man. You understand? And this is the only purpose of why America is built up. America was built up so God can show that he's the top dog. He the one running things, man. That's what we're going to read right now. This is Exodus chapter 9, verse 16. And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show indeed my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. That's why he raised Pharaoh up in Egypt, and that's the same reason why he raised America up, so he can show his power. You know, you already got that bully on the block, and then as soon as that bully get knocked out, you understand, guess what? Everybody feels safe again. Everybody looking at you like, damn, that nigga beat the bully up. That nigga got like when Craig beat up Debo. Everybody was scared to death of Debo. You understand? Until Craig hit him with that brick and knocked him out. Now ain't nobody scared of Debo. Ain't man, I'll fight Debo. All I gotta do is pick up a brick. That's how it's going. I ain't trying to dumb it down, but that's how it's gonna be when Christ return. Christ gonna return, and he gonna destroy America. And everybody gonna be, damn, the bully's gone. You understand? The bully is gone. Because guess what? A bully gonna keep bullying you until you stand up to him. That's what America do. And that's why America don't respect Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, because we don't stand up to them. We don't stand up to them and say, man, you're not going to keep taking my money. You're not going to keep destroying my house. You're not going to keep giving me your religion and philosophies and killing my people and murdering us. You're not going to keep doing. We don't. We know what's happening. We see it happening. We got family members that's victims to it. And guess what? We just say, up, get over it. But America going to return and destroy. I mean, Christ going to return. He's going to destroy America, man. He only built America up to make an example out of them. You understand? We can drop that. Let's get Romans 9-17. Last scripture. Romans chapter 9, verse 16. Romans chapter 9, verse 16. So then it is not of him. Oh no, 17. Romans chapter 9, verse 17. For this scripture says unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. And that's exactly why America had to be built up. You understand? For us being disobedient, and for the Lord to show his power throughout all the earth. Not only to the heathens, but to Israel. To show us that we actually have a God, and we actually have a power that will redeem us and will save us from this hell that we're going through. You understand? With that being said, that's my topic for the night. America is Egypt. Egypt is America. And then just a little sidebar too. I know y'all seen that new space station bull crap they got going on. Did you see the symbol of it? It's a symbol. It's a triangle, and inside the triangle, it's a pharaoh looking up towards the space. And it's called Plato 18 or something like that. You understand? And what they're saying is that they could have put American flag in there, but they put a pharaoh inside that symbol that's for the Space Force that's supposed to be going to space and starting creating land or whatever the hell they doing. They put that Egyptian symbol on there because they're telling you that America is modern day Egypt. So with that being said, the water for tuning into the class. Smash that like button, subscribe, share, Baba Kasha, please. With that being said, Yahweh Shemel Shah Brakatah all the brothers. Yahweh Shemel Shah all the sisters. Shalom.